Hey, Larry Johansson here, and I want to talk about the power of meditation. Because Bianca Andrescuu, our first Canadian US Open champion, when asked about what was her secret for performing so magnificently against Serena Williams in the finals of the Women's US Tennis Open, attributed her victory to her ability to meditate. When Andrescuu took to the court, there was still a question mark over her victory over Williams, who had to withdraw from their showdown in the Rogers Cup finals in Toronto because of an injury. And of course, there was the challenge posed by the highly partisan 24,000 strong US crowd, the second opponent, which was as formidable as her on-court adversary, Serena. But Andrescuu left no doubt in people's minds who was the best player at the Women's US Tennis Open finals. She was focused, fierce, and fearless. She held her nerves even as Williams roared back from a 5-1 deficit in the second set to draw even and look set to storm past Andrescuu. Commentators marveled at her self-possession, her grit, her capacity to absorb enormous pressure and stay relaxed and free-flowing in the moment, letting go the points lost, errors made, and moving on to the next serve, the next point, until, to her own surprise, she made the winning game shot past Williams. What were the factors that contributed to her win? Well, there were many, including her enormous talent, her parents, coaches, a supportive network of friends. But the X factor in all of this, as Bianca said, was her use of meditation, her ability to visualize herself winning the game, playing out different scenarios against Venus and prevailing. Her coach, when asked about this aspect of her preparation, said he wasn't responsible for it, but was aware when she was doing it, and what made her a champion was that she could access places in herself that few others could, hence her ability to withstand the withering onslaught of Venus. I was surprised when I heard this because I discovered the power of meditation in my teens, which gave me the resilience to cope with some difficult challenges and continues decades later to be the staff I've leaned on for support through the ups and downs of life. The first 15 years of my life were punctuated by the death of relatives and friends, including my father, with whom I had a very difficult relationship and which left deep scars. I also grew up in a society where the philosophy governing the rearing of children was spare the rod, spoil the child, and children must be seen and not heard, and suffered lots of physical and verbal abuse in the home as a result of this philosophy. School wasn't any better either. Teachers, for the most part, relied on strappings and canings rather than on pedagogical and motivational skills to ensure discipline and conformity in the classroom. Someone from the same country and culture as myself once commented with bitter humor that she learned that a special needs kid in school was a kid in need of punishment for disrupting the class or for not doing homework or for not paying attention. And then, of course, there was the gauntlet of bullies that one navigated frequently in the schoolyard and on the street. So that by the time I came to learn how to meditate, I was like a boiling cauldron of anger, anxieties, and fears, fueled by the experiences I had growing up in the country and culture in which I was born. I walked around like Atlas, who was condemned to carry the world on his shoulders. How I discovered meditation is another story in itself. Suffice it to say that the first time I sat down to meditate, I sweated so profusely that I had to change my clothes, and afterwards I fell into the most deep, dreamless, refreshing sleep I'd ever had up until then. It was then that I knew that I was onto something. As I continued to meditate, my nervous system, which had been stretched as taut as an elastic band, gradually relaxed. The more I relaxed, the more energy I felt physically, and the more positive my attitude and disposition. I also found that I could focus and concentrate better, and because I could focus and concentrate better, I could study and retain more. Because I could study and retain more, I rocketed from the bottom of the class to first place in high school the year after my father died, staking out a permanent place among the top 10 students in the class from then on. Success in high school led to success in university, where I graduated with a master's degree and eventually became a seminar leader and personal development coach. But the ultimate benefit of meditation continues to unfold. I was able to drop the knapsack of anger, anxieties, and fears which I carried around, and over time became the nurturing and compassionate parent to the little boy in me that was in need of love and acceptance. Taking care of the little boy in me allowed me to become a better spouse and a more aware and conscious parent, bequeathing to my son the legacy of a clean slate with permission to be anything he wants to be, do, and have in life, free of the negative conditioning that was passed on to me by unskillful parents and teachers, themselves the product of an authoritarian, command and control society. So the message I want to leave with you today, and I'm definitely biased in this, is that if you want to tap into and harness all the incredible superpowers you have, then learn to meditate. And in the ongoing posts, I'm going to talk a little bit more, about meditation and how learning to meditate can help you to become the magnificent person you have the potential to be. In the meantime, take care.